guys, thanks for clicking on my video. Today I'll be painting a bunch of second-hand termagants in fluorescent vaporwave colours. I'm going to be a bit lazy and not remove the paint that's already on the models, because none of them are super thick. To get a gloopy, organic looking texture, I'm mixing PVA with a few drops of superglue and swirling it around with a stick. Later when it's painted it's going to look really sticky. Then I'll spray a few coats of white primer over the models. You can use an airbrush or a spray can. For my base pink colour, I'll be using Green Stuff World fluorescent powder pigment and Liquitex ink, mixed with Liquitex matte medium and a few drops of Flow-Aid. I used 2 teaspoons of pink powder, 1/4 teaspoon of blue powder, 100 drops of white ink, and then added matte medium until I had the consistency I wanted. If you'd rather pick a pre-mixed colour, Squid Pink Vallejo model colour is very similar. You can spray the base colour with an airbrush or just paint it on like I did here. After the base, I gave them a wash with a mix of purple fluorescent pigment and Liquitex inks. I used 20 drops of raw umber, 30 drops of naphthol crimson, 50 drops of phthalocyanine blue, and half a teaspoon of purple fluorescent powder, and a generous squirt of matte medium to hold it all together. If you're wondering how to get a hold of these colours, they're all from the Essentials Liquitex ink set, so they're easy to find. After the wash, I moved on to highlighting. I'm using my base pink colour, mixed with some Vallejo Dead White Game colour. I'm just painting it onto the areas that I think light would hit the model. As you can see, my brush is splitting a little bit at the end. It's best to pick up some new small brushes with a pointy tip. It'll make your life a lot easier, but for now I'll make do. So that's one layer of highlighting, but I'm going to go over one more time with even more white added into my pink mix, just to pick out the parts of the model I really want to stand out. Here's a comparison between one layer on the left and the second layer on the right. As you can see, it's really worth picking out the final bits to add depth to the model. Before I move on to the shell, I'm taking some Volupus Pink Citadel contrast paint and adding it to the areas I want to look wet, like the open mouths and the bases. So we're ready to move on from the skin to the carapace. For the base colour, I mixed 2 teaspoons of fluorescent purple pigment powder with 1 teaspoon blue, then thinned down with matte medium and Flow-Aid. Then I mixed in another portion of blue just on its own for the later details. So this is what it looks like with the base coat. Time to add some more colour. I'm going around the edges of all the ridges with my plain blue mix as a kind of transition colour for the edge highlights. And to really make it pop, I've mixed some of my blue mix with Vallejo White Game colour and started adding detailing around the carapace. I'm going around all the ridges with a thin blue line and feathering out on the wider areas. After this, I painted clear matte medium onto the ends of the tails and dabbed on pigment powders with a soft eyeshadow brush. The undiluted fluorescent powders are going to give a really vivid pop of colour that I think they need. To seal the powder, I just sprayed some Liquitex matte varnish spray over the top and let it dry. Here I took some of my tester models to try out a varnish for the carapace. I used Vallejo water-based gloss varnish and some oil-based size. You don't have to get this specific one, I just tried it because I had it lying around. But as you can tell, the oil-based product gave a much glossier, less plasticky sheen to the model. So I would advise picking up something like a Winsor & Newton oil-based gloss varnish, and you'll need some white spirit to clean your brushes. For the final touch, I cut up some aquarium plants and stuck them to the bases as alien foliage. So let's take a look at the final result. I'm really happy with how vibrant the colours came out, and I'm super excited to try this scheme on some bigger models. I'm not gonna lie, painting 30 termagants in this scheme took me a long time. Let me know in the comments below if you like this colour scheme and what models you'd like to see given this treatment. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video and be sure to subscribe for more Tyranid content. Thanks for watching, I'll see you next time, bye!